Welcome back from that short commercial break. It's exactly 4 minutes past the hour of 8 a.m. and at this particular time, we're heading straight to the coffee court. The discussion this time around is something on a subject regarding the music industry, of course, getting to understand the copyright laws and so many other legal, can I say, compliance related matters in that there. The Uganda Performing Rights Society is governed by the Uganda Registration that's Services Bureau and receives its authority that's to act from the Copyright and Neighboring Rights Act that is of 2006. The act specifies how copyright or adjacent rights are acquired and what is eligible for protection under this act. How protected works, and also it looks at how protected works may be used, that's by the third parties. Today we have an in-depth regarding this law in relation to the music world. Coffee Court has more.
Well, one of the critical sectors that we can never neglect as government is the art industry. This time around on the coffee court, we digest where it has come from, where it is, and we project what contribution does this make to the economy of Uganda. Joining me to discuss this is Mr. Benon Mugumbya, who's a director for Swans Avenue. Mr. Mugumbya, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure. Pleasure is all mine. Thanks for having me.
Okay. The art industry, how critical is this industry?
I like to believe that the art industry is the reflection of a society. If the society is in a destitute state,
Okay.
the art industry helps to make it out, to make that aware to the whole world. If there's peace and happiness, there's love, still the other world will get to know about that society through the art. They'll basically amplify whatever the society is going through. So we are not necessarily whistleblowers, but I'm looking for the right word. We are the guys that sound the drum and advertise the society, whatever is happening, be it political, be it lovey-dovey stuff, be it religion.
So whatever that happens indoors, it is what you exactly
Yeah,
put out.
we put it out there.
You shouldn't be saying this is a social, it's more of a social activity, is it?
You could say that, but I believe, every society has that, social part of, and I believe it's what makes us fall in love with the society. Sometimes encourage, sometimes give hope, and that sort of thing.
Okay. Where has it come from?
Where has it come from? I don't think I have the right answers to that. I can only say where I've come from with it, and a little bit of what I've had that happened before.
Okay.
And with this, I believe you're asking Uganda.
I'm asking, of course, in the context of this country.
Yeah. I think it has always been in existence from the days of our grandfathers and from the days of Chintu. If you believe in our
The tradition.
yeah. Otherwise, we would not have traditional instruments or painters or what we call abawesi. Ayo Uganda.
The biashara za kawaida.
Yeah, so yeah, art has always been part of us. So it's just the dynamics that are changing in terms of how it's consumed, how it's distributed, you know. But it's something that has always been with us, and especially in Africa, it has always been a form of communication or passing on knowledge from our elders to the young kids. It's been a way of learning, you know. Yeah, so now it has just
it has resolved from somewhere to where we are.
Yes.
Bring us to speed on what is happening. You've talked about perception as a key pillar. Do you think the public is perceiving this industry in the right manner? Perception of the industry.
That's very broad. We have situations where it's abused, you know, and we have had
so critical.
Yeah, and it's very broad. I don't know how long you're sure.
No, how broad? It is okay. We in the minutes that we have.
I'll touch on something that I feel has. I'll give an example. When did we have elections? Last year. Yeah. Was it last year, beginning of this year?
2020.
Yeah, we almost had a musician in power, and it goes to show that, you know, art is a big deal now.
Okay.
You know, in society, and it's something that you cannot strip away, or, you know, it's now hand
something
in hand with,
inevitable.
yeah. Be it whether you are a pastor, president, at least you consume art. You listen to music. You appreciate art somewhere, somehow.
Okay. Something
It's part of
inevitable.
us.
Something inevitable is something you can't do away with.
Yes.
It means it is something very, very important.
True.
Let's now discuss the economics of this industry, the art industry. In your view, what do you think is the contribution of this industry to the development of this country?
What's the contribution of art? So a lot of people think the main beneficiaries is the artist, you know, that musician, the painter, but
Is that the wrong thinking?
it's much bigger than that. Me as a person who has worked in the background, I'll paint for you a picture. Let's say, okay, next weekend we have a big festival, Eddie Kenzo Festival. So straight away we shall imagine, oh, Eddie Kenzo is going to make money. But guess what? Yeah, he's going to make money. He's putting up a show. But he's going to need production, that is stage, lighting, sound, other musicians that are going to play for him.
Okay.
Yeah. At the festival, we shall need food. Yeah. People that are going to prepare food. We shall need security, bouncers. We shall need. So you see that there's a trickle down effect. There are a lot of beneficiaries that are going to gain from just this one guy who's going to put up a show. You understand? So a lot of families are going to benefit, and not necessarily, not that they are musicians or, you know, they're going to play alongside Eddie Kenzo. No, I might be a bouncer, but I know I'll get paid because of my services. I might be that guy who operates lights, yeah? And that's my specialty. I know that every weekend, if a musician has a gig, my services will be needed. So
it's the wrong thinking for us to say.
Yeah, you
It's
find
only the
that
artist.
the sector alone employs a lot of these other people, and not just people in the arts, but in different different sectors as well. Yeah.
So you remember when COVID-19 had just hit this country? Of course, it's one of the key sectors that was actually greatly affected. If a show is cancelled, how much is lost?
Of course, okay, it depends on the different commitments that were made for the show. I'll just give an example of one of the shows that we usually do, Roast and Rhyme. So you have to book a venue, and by booking, it's not just verbal. You pay off the venue.
You pay the money cash.
Yeah, so that your date is secured. Then you have several a big list of service providers, from sound, stage, lighting. Then you have vendors that are going to sell food or different items that revealers love to enjoy, from drinks. So some of these people, you make commitments, financial commitments. Then the performers, you make deposits. So if a show is cancelled, you lose all that money, because it's not your supplier's fault that the
That
show
was
is cancelled. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's usually there's a financial implication.
Okay. So let's talk about now copyright. I know it's one of those laws that govern the art industry. Do you think this has really helped?
From my point of view, I feel we as the stakeholders, we need to take time and educate ourselves, and really get a good understanding of how this law operates, how we stand to benefit.
Are you suggesting that it's a law that people have not understood?
Yeah, and both the stakeholders and the police, or whatever body that is supposed to help implement the law. You find so many situations that so many of us are infringing that law, knowing or unknowingly. Plus, also, I believe the police, or the public in general, does not really understand how this law works. I've been to places whereby you see public, where, let's say, it's a public place and they are displaying content that's not meant
To be displayed.
to be displayed in the public,
Mm.
or a lot of TV stations playing content that, so, and I believe some of these, situations, people don't really know that they are infringing the copyright law.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who is to do the education, in your view?
A bit of both, us the stakeholders
Mm.
and the government. If we want to really benefit, it's difficult to implement something you don't understand. Or,
True. Mm.
So I think it's on us and partly the government.
Okay.
So,
And that's where exactly I'll bring you to the point of government.
mhm.
So do you really think government has been that very fundamental in boosting the art industry?
I think the government can really do so much. I look at the government as my mother. Me growing up, we had some challenges, but she did her best to make sure that we got
I'm
good
talking about
schools.
the core government.
Yeah.
Not in the context.
Yeah.
You're
So
bringing it forth.
I think there's a lot that government still needs to do, for, things like the infrastructure, for us to enjoy the
You seem to be suggesting that let government leave you in your comfort zone and let it concentrate on other core issues.
It's not really a comfort zone, don't get me wrong, but
Or you've already attained it, you've reached a point of...
and we're not yet there, but I would rather we have better hospitals, better roads, the education, schools. I'm not saying we don't need government's help, but
All you're saying they've done.
Eh?
They've done enough for the industry.
No. We are not yet there. But I think there are more pressing issues than our sector.
Okay.
But I stand to be correct. I'm not saying we don't need the help. But I think it would be much better if certain things were worked on first.
So
like
are you
hospitals.
satisfied where the industry is? Now that you're saying government should concentrate on those other core issues.
You're putting me on the spot here. All I'm saying is there's still a lot to be done, and not just in our sector, in the health sector, transportation, education. I think you see some of these things once the people are healthy, once people can move, once we have a solid infrastructure, you'll find that also the other sectors will blossom just because there are systems in place and the engine is running, the wheel is rotating smoothly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe as a key senior driving factor in this industry, what's your final recommendation to those in the art industry?
I would say that we have a role to play, and we should not wait for government. I believe the government will be encouraged to join us when we are moving. Yeah.
So when you say we, you seem to be suggesting let government, let's leave government in its own corner, and then we also operate in our own corner. And yet I understand that government is a key stakeholder in driving some of the fundamental.
No,
industries
most
like this.
most definitely we need government, but that should not stop us from starting the engine.
Okay.
You know, otherwise, you know, if we're just going to sit and wait, what if it never comes? Yeah. So all I'm saying is, you know, at least let's start with the baby steps.
Okay.
So that, you know, by the time the government comes in to help, we are somewhere.
Mr. Benon Mugumbya, thank you for speaking to us. He's the director here at Swans Avenue. We know that the art industry is one of those critical industries that contributes a lot to the economy of this country. This is the Coffee Court, and my name is Fred Mugumbya.
Smart 24, driving business.